That is why they're hiring you. They're hiring you for your expertise, and if that means saying no to them, they'll appreciate it. We think that there should be a rating system for the clients, like who pays on time. So all of these red flags lead to one message. Hi, I'm Shirley, and I'm the founder of W House, and I'd like to share with you a few things that I've had to learn the hard way. And the number one for me was saying no. I've actually had this conversation with other designers. Once the client hires you, they sort of have you. We're a luxury service, and so any review that you get can really hurt your business. So you want to do the very best that you can for your client. And it's tricky to navigate some of those conversations and dynamics when you're in the project. My girlfriend and I, another designer, have often joked, we think that there should be a rating system for the clients, like who pays on time, who responds on time, who takes too long, who is rude to trades. I've seen that. And even who fights with their spouse in front of us. Oh, all sorts of things. Anyway, I know that it's impossible for us to do that, but wouldn't it be great if we could level that playing field? So I know that it's really hard to say no in the beginning. And the truth is, when I started out, I never said no. I took on every job, no matter what. Even if it was a shitty job or a difficult client, I knew that if I did a good job for them, that word would spread. So I was very intentional about taking those jobs. I knew that they would be difficult, but I had a goal in mind and I didn't really care. I was just going to do the best that I could and build my business. But you know what? I'm grateful for each of those challenging projects that I took on because I learned so much, and each one was a stepping stone to something bigger and better. And word did spread. That is how I built my business. Now, I'm in a position where I'm lucky enough to pick and choose who I want to work with and what projects excite me. But it wasn't that way in the beginning. Believe me, I know that it's really hard to say no to a client when they're asking for something, whether it's reasonable or unreasonable, but it's a super important skill to develop. I actually have a client who has amazing taste, and she's always bringing up this idea or that idea, and she's asking me, what do you think? And I agree with her very often. I say, that's a great idea. Let's do it. Or I love it too. And she's like, but you can push back. If you don't like it, push back. And I say to her, I know, I would. If I didn't agree with you, I would say no. But I'm lucky enough to work with her and we think the same way, so it doesn't come up that often. Those are the kinds of clients you are striving for. That is why they're hiring you. They're hiring you for your expertise. And if that means saying no to them, they'll appreciate it. You don't have to be afraid to voice your opinion, even if it goes against what they're asking for. They might not realize the implications of some of their demands or asks. So if you can just explain your position, they will be grateful that you're working towards the best design decisions possible on their behalf. It's really hard to say no when a new project comes your way. But over the years, I've learned how to spot some red flags. And when these things come up, I always refuse the project. So the first thing, when I present my contract, if the client starts crossing off some of our terms and conditions and making notes on our contract, we have those clauses in our contract based on over 20 years of experience and what we've learned that works for us. So when they cross things off, I know that they don't respect our business or our process. Another red flag, when a client calls you for more than, say, 2 interviews before hiring you. For me, that sets off alarm bells. It tells me that they're not good at decision making. And there are just so many that come up during the renovation or build that for me, I feel like that's just not a good fit. This is a fan favorite. How about when you meet a client for the first time and you haven't even been hired or started the project and they're already bargaining with you around your design fees and purchasing structure and telling you what they're willing to pay? I mean, that to me is just really indicative of how the relationship is going to move forward and how the whole project is going to be. Makes me feel very uncomfortable. And that's one that I would probably say no to. I've had several meetings where I'm meeting the clients for the very first time and I'm explaining our process to them and talking about their space. And they start talking over me and interrupting with what they think. And I realize that they don't see my value. They don't understand what I bring to the table with my over 20 years of experience. So I won't take a project on where I feel like I'm not being seen or heard for what I bring to the table. So all of these red flags lead to one message, and that is value. You want to show these clients that you know your stuff, you're prepared, and you're ready to problem solve for them. As soon as you're able to approach them with confidence, they'll start to back down and they'll start to listen to you more. And that's why I created W House, my design wisdom share, so that I can empower you with all the knowledge that I've learned over the last 22 years, making mistakes and learning the hard way. Well, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you being here. And if you're interested in learning more, there's a link below. Click on it and find out all about W House Inc. And if you need more support, I know I certainly did when I was starting out. I wish I had a mentor. I'm available for one-on-ones, and you can book online and we can troubleshoot all of these tricky situations together.